for me, the behavior of this person was very confusing until someone gave us a book on personality disorders. And then all of a sudden I saw patterns in what I was seeing, and it's very simple, similar to what we're seeing from Trump. I'm sorry, I don't know if we're rolling. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Did we start again, or we'll edit that out?
It's all good.
Still.
Go on. Yeah.
Okay. I think that maybe a lot of people are having trouble with relationships, and it's affecting their mental health. And to me, here's one of my bits of pithy wisdom, is that every problem, most of the major problems I've had in my life, I have overcome by having to learn, by gaining wisdom. And if I'd had that wisdom in the first place, I probably wouldn't have had the problem.
Yeah.
That, to me, is why, after food, clothing, and shelter, education is vital, or it's all meaningless. And the biggest bit of education, one of the most important things that I think is happening from the whole Trump fiasco, is that within half a year, everyone's going to be a lot smarter about sociopath and personality disorders, and hopefully be able to transfer that knowledge to, oh, that boss that is really hard to work with, or my in-law, or my spouse that's beating me. Once you start to see the same patterns and the same characteristics, there's an interesting thing about personality disorders or access to disorders. They're a lot less curable because those people don't believe they have a problem. People with depression, addictions, access 1 disorders, they know they have a problem. So when you're dealing, even a medical professional knows they have a huge challenge. So for me, as a schmo that was trying to solve these family problems, I know now if I can go back, be a lot shorter. These are the boundaries, across them, go, get them. Not that I'd like to be an asshole, but so just trying to gather my thoughts as to.
Well, you answered one of my questions. If you could go back in time, would you change anything? So,
well,
like, would you have still married that woman who had the awful mother?
Would I still?
Would you still marry that woman, your ex-wife?
We've got wonderful kids, and my ex is not that woman. She's a mirror. I have flaws and weaknesses. She does too.
Yeah.
I don't see this too much blame, although I wish her behavior was different. I wish mine was different.
Yeah.
From the point of view of surviving trauma and the pithy wisdoms I can give you, or one impart to the world, if there's ever going to be a saying that I would hope to be attributed to me, is that whenever things seem really dire and complicated and unsolvable, there's an easy answer waiting that you just gotta. There is a simple answer that you're just not seeing.
Yeah.
In the case of a lot of abusive spouses, I would say it's leave. As soon as you see someone willing to harm you, someone without compassion, and again, those characteristics, if they have no remorse, if everything is always someone else's fault but not their fault, no compassion, if they make when you try and bring the problem to their attention, they blast back with this scattergun of all kinds of things about you or other people. You know you're in the face of something you're never going to win. Never, 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 never.
You know.
Yeah. The way I would condense that into pithy wisdoms, if you're having trouble with anybody, the other bit of pithy wisdom that I would offer is to separate what you would hope from the way you would bet. I mean, I hope my in-law sees wisdom and we get to hug and have a happy end of our lives. The way I would bet, because that's never going to happen. So don't confuse those two. On a similar vein, don't confuse forgiveness with trust. Forgiveness is a great thing. The more of it you can generate, the better the world's going to be. But just because you forgive someone, that doesn't necessarily equate that you should ever trust them again. See, you don't have to trust. Forgiveness, you should be able to generate as much trust. You're perfectly allowed to use an eye drop. That's yours.
Forgiveness is given. Trust is earned.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I was just going to say, if there's one thing that you could tell anyone that you just kind of did, I suppose. So is there anything else that you would like to say to anybody who's watching?
Yeah, if you're having trouble with mental disorders, as many do, as we were discussing earlier, the whole suicide thing is a huge undercurrent. They don't advertise, they don't make stories about the suicide problem in papers because there'll be copycat suicides. But the reality is, it's taking way more lives than car accidents and things. So, ongoing mental problems by everyday people they're huge. I would encourage everybody to just learn as much as you can about your own disorder, about that. Even if a doctor is trying to prescribe medication, Google every damn medication, every damn therapy, Google everything you can, and it is not very hard to end up knowing more than your doctor. Yeah. You take the driver's seat.
The first step is to ask for help, to acknowledge that, I think I need some help here. And that there's no shame in that. It's okay to ask for help, that we can't fix ourselves all the time.
I wish I could tell people that there's this wonderful system with open arms, that they're going to fall into like a feather bed and they'll be cared for.
Yeah.
Even my 5 weeks at Grey Nuns, I was fed and had a clean bed. But even, I'm sorry to say, even the therapy was a bit of a joke, like cuckoo's nest. It was surreal how kind of inadequate it was. So most of the tools and things I've had to learn are generated on my own outside the medical system.
Well, good for you for taking that on and caring about yourself enough to do the research and to look into things so that you can be okay, so that you can be healthy. Taking care of yourself is the most important.
Yeah. So. It's hard to overcome that element of self-sabotage. ADD really can make me overthink and over-worry, and it just seems to come at you pretty constantly. That's why at this point I'm back on meds. That we part of one of the many tools.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to share? Or?
I better shut up. I'll just keep talking.
Well, I thank you so much for reaching out to me, and I'm so glad that you saw a mutual friend of ours, I believe.
Ellen.
Yeah. And so I'm glad you saw it, and I'm glad you reached out to me, and so thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your ADD and your research and your self-recovery as well.